Hi guys, here's how to deny the plant on every single site for the current competitive map pool in Counter-Strike 2. On Mirage, if you're coming from CT, normally the Ts will have this smoked off, and what you can do is you can just get in this little corner right here, aim as shown, and it's a simple left click throw. Now you can pair this up with a spam through the smoke, but what I like to do is if I'm a CT player and I've backed off into ticket, there's a small little dot, and it's really hard to see, but I promise you'll see it. You just aim to the bottom left of it, and this is just going to do some really good damage if anyone is planting default, and it will definitely stop the plant. For the B site, just be sure to clear market and close market window, and what you're going to do is you're going to line up the shelves past the window, aim towards the top, and do a simple run throw towards empty pillar. It's not a specific lineup at all, but what it will do is it will molly off both the default and the cat plant spot, making it really hard for Ts to get the bomb down. On Dust 2, for the A site, if you find yourself in CT and the Ts have taken site, you're going to wait for your team to rotate from B or whatever. You can line up with this and then go to the box and find this line right here, go to the top of it and do a right-left jump throw for both a molotov and a nade. And what that's going to do is that's going to deal some really good damage on the default plant position, and it will buy you some good time for your team to rotate. For the B site, what I like to do is I like to get right up on this box into the corner, and if you find the line on the door, aim right above it. You could do a right-left jump. As I was saying, you could line right above it and do a right-left jump throw, and then you can follow that up with a spam through the door. What the spam's going to do is it's just going to get the spots that the CT molly doesn't reach to, both in front and behind the box, and you'll pretty much cover off the entire front part of the site. On Ancient, for the A site, the Ts should be smoking off CT, and what I like to do is find this little wall right here, go to the edge of it, and what you're going to do is line up your 3Y in between these two little rocks right here as shown, and you're going to do a jump throw. You can also follow this up with a run throw with a nade just about anywhere, and this will cover off every single safe plant position around these boxes. As for these other plant positions on site, what you could do, just through the smoke, either you or your teammates can spam these open positions, and it will make sure every single part of the site takes damage. For the B site, what I like to do is go in this corner right here, find this little mark on the wall and go on the dark spot and do a jump right left molotov, and that will cover all of the safe plant positions behind the pillar. Now there is also this lane area, and what you could do for this is if you just follow it up with a nade, you could do it right across this wall. It could be high, it could be low, it doesn't really matter. Follow up with a spray through the smoke. It makes it really hard for the Ts to get bombed down. On Inferno, for the B site, you'll most likely be smoked off from CT, so what you could do is get in this corner, aim to the top left of this window, and do a running left click throw with both a molotov and a nade. And what that will do is stop any plant happening in the default position. For the A site, what I like to do is hop up on this red box right here, aim at the light bulb, and do a simple left click throw. Now what this will do is will land right on top of the default box, stopping any plant happening in default, but a lot of the times Ts will catch on to this and plant in the back of the site, or they will have a smoke to smoke off moto, and they just want to plant safer. What I like to do to counter this is go along this wall right here where the brick meets the wall, aim at the middle of the pallet, and do a right left jump throw and you can follow this up with a nade too, and that will pretty much cover the entire back part of site, any safe plant positions they could plant in, and do some really good damage. Nuke is kind of a tricky one since it's such a closed-in map, but one thing I found is that if the Ts smoke off mini, which should be the first smoke they throw, if you line up with the edge of this door right here, you could find this dot on the wall and aim just to the right of it, and you could walk all the way through the back of mini through the smoke and do a run throw in the back left corner of mini. This will molotov the entirety of the back of site. This was actually a bad example because I didn't cover the whole thing, so I'll really quickly show you another one of me doing it properly. For the B site, there's not necessarily any sort of molotov you could throw because it's so closed in, but one thing I like to do is there's this Astralis plant position and the walls are paper thin, so I like to come right here behind the sinks and aim at the bottom of the B and just spam that if my opponents like to plant Astralis, and it'll be sure to kill anyone planting there. The only other thing is this vent wall bang with an op, and what I like to do is line up with this line right here, in between this diagonal line and this diagonal line. And if you shoot anywhere in between here, you'll cover most of the default spots behind the silo and stop any plants happening there. On train, normally they'll smoke this off, they might smoke Z off, whatever it may be. If you find yourself back here, maybe you came through CT, what I like to do is line up in between these two things where the dark meets the light, and all it is a simple left click jump throw. What it will do is it will molly off all the safe positions on the train B bomb site. For the A site, the T's will be smoking off Z. I like to stick myself next to this red barrel right here. I like to aim my 3X at that bolt right there and do a right-left jump throw. You can also follow this up with a nade, and you'll do really good damage on this position if the T's want to play post plant from Pop Dog or Red. For overpass on the A site, I like to aim right here and do a right-left W jump throw. This will send a perfect molotov to dice. Sometimes there will be a smoke in your way, making it kind of hard. You don't know where to aim, but it's a very forgiving lineup, so you just kind of guess where to aim. And remember, it's a right-left W jump throw. You can kind of use the crane to help you aim, but yeah, very forgiving lineup, very easy. For the B site, the T's will most likely be smoking off heaven, and what I like to do is line up at the edge of this wall right here, and you're going to find this little spot. I like to aim between those two things. You're going to line that up with your 3Y crosshair, and it's a simple left click throw. You can do the same with the grenade, and it'll do some really good damage to anyone planting or just anyone who's on site for that matter. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.